I think I'm live. Hello, Flosstube. It says it's waiting for broadcast. Oh, now I'm live. Hi, guys. Hello, Flosstube. Let's see if anybody pops on. If you're popped on, please type something in so I know you're here. Yeah, the ever-evolving Flosstube, huh? I'm Amy from Little Farm Quilts. I was doing more frequent floss tubes, and, you know, life this summer has been very busy. Well, honestly, it's been busy since the start of the pandemic. But, yeah, life's been busy. Lots of life changes, too, coming up. Yeah, but we'll give everybody a minute before I start getting into... I always come on to Flosstube, and when I do these lives and I come on and I don't give people time to get on, and then I start into stuff, and then I feel bad because I've already said all this stuff and people are just piping on, so then I end up repeating. So we're just going to kind of go with it. If nobody pops on in like the next, I don't know, couple minutes, I will start into my stuff. But I see 2 viewers, so if you're watching, say hi so I know you're there. Oh gosh, I wish I had. I kind of feel like I should have more to show you guys after 2 weeks of not doing a floss tube. It is what it is, you know. It's summertime, so hi Gail, nice to, well, I see you typing. Nice to be with you again. I try to stitch in the summertime. It's hard. Hi. Is it Eliza or Lisa? What was I saying? Anyway, it's summertime. There's lots to be done. Bees are getting taken care of tomorrow. I actually took today off, hoping to take care of the bees today. It rained half the day here. So, no bee work today, but there's plenty of other stuff. As you can see behind me, oh, let's go this way, directionally challenged, I have a frolic quilt on my long arm. That happens to be my mom's quilt right there. I started quilting that today. I have a quilt order coming tomorrow. I have a quilt being picked up tomorrow. Oh, yeah, Gail, you're right. Maybe a leg. Oh, cool. I have lots of quilt orders coming in. I have another one coming in Monday. So there's lots of sewing here. I'm also making a leather computer case for somebody. I've never worked with leather before, so that's been kind of interesting. I bet they do, Gail. My bees are out and about, I can tell you that. But lots of sewing going on here. Lots of working going on here. Like I said, I took today off, hoping to get some other stuff done. We just repurposed the day, and everybody should be excited. I have a pretty significant giveaway today, and I don't do giveaways that often, but I purchased a multiple of something in error, and I've got something to give away. So everybody hang on till the end. We'll talk about that at the end. Another thing coming up in life, I've decided to go on and get my master's degree in nursing education. That starts for me early September. So I decided, I've made a lot of decisions this weekend. I'm going to do floss tubes. I'm going to do live floss tubes every other Saturday or Friday, dependent on when I can. And every other week I'm going to do a live kind of stitch with me thing. So they'll alternate between the floss tubes and the stitch with me's. If you guys want to give any feedback on that, feel free to comment, and you can comment after this video is done if that's fine. Oh, that is cool, Gail. He has a treadle. That's awesome. You should email me a picture of that so I can see it. That would be awesome. I have also decided to stitch from stash. So I feel like I like things, I buy things, and I really have so many things to stitch here that I really should concentrate on what I have here. So I've started Stitch from Stash. If you don't know what that is, search on Facebook, request to be joined in their group, and you can find out all about it. You set yourself a monthly budget. Some things don't count in that budget, some things do. So because I'm starting it kind of mid-July, I've set my remainder budget for July at zero, and I'm working on finishes. And for those of you that aren't familiar with Stitch from Stash, you get monetary credits for finishes. Not FFOs, just finishes. So it promotes you finishing things before you buy more things. So I'm going to do that. Like I said, I have a lot of sewing going on right now. A ton. I just delivered a t-shirt quilt. I just quilted another quilt. I quilted a quilt of my own. I'm binding a quilt of my own. I have my mom's quilt on the long arm right now. I have a quilt coming in tomorrow that will go on as soon as my mom's is done. I have a baby quilt being picked up tomorrow. It is crazy quilt season. I find this every year. We get around graduation, wedding time, and it is crazy pants. So, but I do have a finish. I have a finish. One. I was hoping to have two. I have one. So let's start with finishes first. And I guess I should say, in case you guys didn't hear me in the beginning, welcome to A Little Farm Quilts Flosstube. My name is Amy. If you're new to me, you picked a great night to join. If you are returning, thanks so much for coming back. I have no idea why anybody else would want to take part in my crazy, but I guess I'm thankful that you do. I like to share it with somebody. But let's show you my finish first. I did a Lindy Stitches, had a stitch along called Onward Noble Steed, and this is my finish. Let's see if it'll focus, or maybe we'll go to the lower camera. Let's see. Can you guys see that? Yeah. I think it might look better down here. Hold on, because I have these newfangled cameras. Oh, yeah, Gail, that kind of stinks, doesn't it? Let's see if I can switch to the lower camera. Oh, there you go. Can you guys see that? Look at this fancy stuff I got going on here. So proud of myself. That's Onward Noble Steed. I changed the color of her dress to blue. I used Weeks Dye Work Oscar for the dragon. And I think everything else is called for. So there you go. But I had fun. It was funny because, well, not funny, haha. It was weird. That whole thing was weird, right? Gail, you were part of this sale. I love Lindy Stitches. Anyway, I think it takes great courage to put a sale together on a thing you've designed in the current climate. And, yeah, I enjoyed it. But I enjoy a lot of her things. So you want to see my whips that I've been working on. Now, I have probably, I don't know, I stopped counting. I know I have over 31. And I started another one today. I have another start next week. Planned start. But I have some focus pieces that I'm working on. Let's do my fancy dancy split camera again. I just think that's awesome. So one of the things I've been working on with my mom and a friend of mine is Deck the Halls. It's by Blackbird Designs. And Our goal was to have these all done in FFO by Christmas. We have all the FFO items to do these. So I had already shown you, I finished this one with the house. I also showed you this one that I finished with this bird. Can you guys see it in the little window well, or no? Because if not, I'll just go back to single screen and show you guys there. I just thought the little window would look good, but I'm not viewing it from your vantage point, so you guys need to tell me if you can see it well there. You'd rather me show it to the main camera. Gail, I agree with you. She is always listening and learning. I just love her to death. I think her heart is in the right place. Alright, so I showed you all those. The one I'm working on right now, and I'm having a hard time stitching this one. Not that I'm having difficulty stitching it, that's not it. I just find it boring. I don't know why. It's this pelican right here. And I keep having to switch around on what I'm working on. This is being stitched on 36 count AO by Picture This Plus. And let's see if I can get it to show up on this nice. I like having this little camera here. So I've got a good chunk of the bird, the pelican itself done. I'm working on the beak here. I would really like to finish this because my friend Deb has finished this one. And we would like to move on. We're kind of doing these together. Once this one's done, we are halfway there. We've got 3 of them done. There's 6 total. So we are seriously looking forward to finishing them just like this in these strawberries. And I think it would be awesome to have these around for Christmas time. The next whip that I wanted to show you, well, I focused on, let's see, how many do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, including my chatelaine that's upstairs. I'm not showing you the chatelaine tonight. I have made some progress on it. The reason I'm not showing it to you is because next Saturday, that will be my stitch along piece for my live Stitch With Me. So you will see plenty of it next Saturday, next Friday or Saturday, whichever day I can go live. So the other piece I worked on was, it's Huckleberry Farm by the Blue Flower. You guys have seen this one. I started this during Mania. This was my first start in Mania this year. And I work on it, I don't know, a couple times a week probably. Let's see if I can get this lined up under the camera. There you go. Oh, that's perfect. Look at that. So I did the bear. Did more of this mountain area here. Did some more of these white flowers. And I don't know if you can see it on camera, but in these V's, there's some yellow stitches in the corners. And I did some more of those. So that is that. I'm pretty happy with the fact that I'm putting stitches in that every week. Considering how busy things have been. Do you know what I mean? I think I get a lot of stitches in a week. Considering what our life looks like right now. You know? I thought that, you know, our life would slow down after the kids moved out, but it really has not. So, the next one I put stitches in was Jack Frost Tree Farm. This is part 1. I am stitching all of these in one piece. And I started this, not this year in Mania, but last year in Mania. Thanks, Gail, I agree. I think you're talking about Huckleberry Farm because there's probably a lag with the comments. So I got quite a bit done on this. This is being stitched on 28 count tea-dyed Monaco. And as you can see, let's see, there you go. I'm all the way across to the house. So I just have some border around here doing some fill-in, a little guy in the porch here and some snow. And that'll be done and I will be able to move on to part 2. I'm really liking this. I like this on, I was had just returned to cross stitching when I had started this, so I really had not made a ton of progress. I think at the end of Mania I had this tree in and this deer in, and that was it last year. And I didn't pick it up again because I was very frustrated. I was very frustrated with stitching on Monaco. I have since found some tricks to stitching on Monaco that work well for me, and I'm making quite a bit of progress. I do a lot of, I've also changed the way I stitch now. I do a lot of outlining and then filling in, which works for me. But the house came along nicely. The house took me quite a while last weekend. I don't know why, but it just did. It's a lot of stitches in there. Seems deceptive. But that is Jack Frost Tree Farm. I am hoping to get part 1 finished in the next couple of weeks. And we will see how that goes. You guys can stay tuned. These are the pieces I will focus on again this coming week. I have a new start probably this coming week. I had a new start today. So yeah. The other, I can't show you a picture of the other piece that I'm working on because I don't have it. I started Queen of Freedom, as you guys know if you watched my last Flosstube. I started Queen of Freedom. Sorry, I didn't iron any of these before I came on today. I'm not sure why. I should have. Let me take this needle out too. So I started Queen of Freedom. As you know, it's a Mirabilia that's out of print. I was able to snag a copy to borrow. And this is how much I've gotten done. This is the starts of her hand. I am stitching this on, this is 28 count. I think it's Portobello by Witch Out. I think that's what it is. You know, white stitching is white stitching, and sometimes it looks nice and sometimes it doesn't. And I think that at times irritates me a bit, but I'm not going to take the time to railroad stitches or all. Hello! It's hot there. It's hot here too. It was 85. Well, your hot's probably different than mine. Upstate New York has been kind of in a heat wave. We hit the 90s, mid to high 90s last week. At one point, I think mid 90s. And today we're in the 80s. Now, everything's hot to me at this stage in life, just so everybody's aware. I'm hot always. But today was like 85, I think, which is hot here. But, you know, it is what it is. Alright, the last whip I have to show you is this. Did you guys see it? So, Lindy Stitches, I'm holding the bag. Can you see them? All the blue-footed boobies. Lindy Stitches, I get her newsletter. And in her newsletter, she was talking about this pattern. It's called Beach Dance, this pattern. And it is the blue-footed boobies. You know how Stephanie likes birds. And she was offering the pattern with this bag. So this bag. And it came with some of the finishing trims from Lady Dot Creates. So it came with trims. What else did it come with? It came with one of these labels. It came with a card. It came with a couple coffee flavored candies, which I've already eaten. And it came with the week's, the fancy floss. You have to add your own DMC. But look at how cute it was. It came with the fancy floss. And it's got a ribbon, a bow on it. And they're all tied together. So I have added my, let's move this. I have added my DMC. My fabric choice, because I'm trying to stitch from stash, was a light gray dyed 28 count Monaco. And I started it this morning. So all I got, let's put the pattern back up so you can see. Can you see that? There we go. Yeah, let's do it here. Let's do this. So I got a little bit of this border done just to get me to the center so I can count down, and then I started on the two heads. So this is the right head, this is the left head. And so I started that this morning. So tonight, after I'm done with this Flosstube, I am going to sit up and stitch. I have, oh, lots of comments. Okay, Stephanie. Yeah, I agree. Anything above 80s is hot. Blue-footed boobies makes me laugh all the time. My husband and I are talking about them, and when my mom and I talk about them, we call them the boobies. Just because it's funny. And yes, I love the bag. The bag is very well made. I know that Stephanie said she's going to do a second run of these bags. It is a super fun stitch. She's doing a second run of this. So keep an eye on her posts on Instagram, Facebook. If you're not part of the Lindy Stitches club or group on Facebook, you should be. Yeah, it's a super fun stitch. I think all of her stitches are super fun. Matter of fact, I have Mary Mary is in my, I started her during Mania. And as soon as I finish one of these, she's coming back out to go into the rotation. And I also I have Emily's House, which I'd like to bring that back out into the rotation too. I miss her. And then I just bought a while ago, I should say just, probably a month ago, bought broken pieces, broken things, and I love that one too. So yeah, so those are my whips for this week. Not a ton of stitching going on, but in the evenings I do pretty well. You won't see a ton of haul from me anymore now that I'm stitching from stash, but you should see more stitching and maybe some FFOs. So let's go back to this. I feel like I'm talking really fast. So we're going to talk a little bit about knitting tonight too, but it'll be really fast, I promise, and then we'll be back to stitching. So stick with me because you're going to want to see the giveaway at the end. I can't remember if I showed this to you last time or not. Oh, maybe we'll try the split camera again. I'm in the Yarn of the Month Club at Forbidden Fiber Co. And it's Once Upon a Time Month Club. Hi, Deb. And this is inspired by Alice in Wonderland's Tea Party. So that's what this is called. And it's really pretty, huh? Also, want to say that I started knitting socks. And if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen pictures. I'm actually, my husband's joke is that he keeps asking me if I'm making two. I am making two. So I'm going to just talk briefly about knitting, okay? Bear with me. This is, oh, let me make sure I don't pull any stitches out. There's my sock. You see I've got the cuff. It's actually not my sock, it's my daughter Courtney's sock. Because these are to her foot measurements. Thank you, Shelly. Thank you, Stephanie. It is pretty yarn, isn't it? This is also from Forbidden Fiber Co. It was from their Beauty and the Beast dyeing. And I did the heel flap, the heel turn, and all the gusset decreases are done for the heel, and I'm simply knitting towards the toe now. And I will tell you that I'm stinking proud of myself because it was one of those things that I wanted to learn a new skill, and that new skill was knitting socks. And I like pretty colors, and I like doing stuff with pretty colors. So it just made sense. The knitting I can do in a meeting without even looking most times if I'm just knitting in the round without even looking at it. And it's just fun. Like I knit probably this whole 1.5 inches in the middle of a training meeting, which actually helps me during the training meetings because it helps me focus on what they're saying. I think when I don't do something with my hands, honestly, I think I fade off. Do you know what I mean? But thanks, everybody. Sock's not bad. It's my first ever sock. I'm pretty proud of that. I also have 2 other knitting projects going. One that I do not show, and an Afghan that I'm not working on right now because it is too stinking hot to work on a darn Afghan. But that's it. That's it for knitting. The only thing I have, well, I have 3 things in the haul, and they're really nothing exciting. Okay. I picked this up at Hobby Lobby. It's just one of those easel boards for finishing. I went to Hobby Lobby with my friend Debbie, who's in the chat. I picked up some ribbon. I honestly don't remember where I got this. I think I might have gotten this at either Michael's or Joann's. I am following Caroline's page, Stephanie. I got this ribbon. It's stretchy, which I think is kind of cool. And I got some size 28 needles, and these are DMC needles. I'm not really a needle snob, but I do like 28s. The only problem I have with these 28s is these 28s are a little short, stubby things. And sometimes my... hello, the sampler girl. My hands just get tired holding a small needle, you know. Chunky hand problems. But that's all I got. Let's see. So let's show you something else. I tried another new craft this week. I think some of you may know, because I think I've shown this in my previous Flosstubes. I bought a punch needle a while ago. And I wanted to try it. The first time I tried it, it was a miserable fail. I watched videos, and it was still a miserable fail. And I think, you know, I'm not that stupid. I'm sorry if you can hear that vacuum running. My husband, this is in the basement studio, directly up these stairs and out a door, which we just put a screen on today, is my husband's garage, and he's out there vacuuming his truck out. So I'm sorry if you can hear that vacuum. He's just not even thinking that I'm doing a live right now. So I did. With the punch needle came a practice punch needle pattern. And then I sat, and I don't know if you guys saw, but Vanna put out 2 punch needle videos this week. And my mom had texted me to say, Vanna had put out 2 punch needle videos, you should watch them, and then maybe you'll get the hang of your punch needle. So I watched them, got excited the next morning. Instead of stitching before work, I decided to try a little punch needle, and it still wasn't working very well. And then so I had my husband look at it, because he's an engineering mind, you know. And he showed me a couple of things, and I got it working. It took me a little bit. It took me some time and some practice, but I was able to punch needle. Should we go back to the other one? I think the other one focuses better. Yes. So I'm not going to complete this because this piece itself is not my style. Let's go to the other one, see if I can hold it close so you guys can actually see. Can you guys see that? There we go. So I'm not going to finish the piece, and once I got the hang of it, I didn't feel like finishing this piece, but I do have a punch needle pattern in my stash from Teresa Kogut. I also have well, I wouldn't call her friend. I know her. We attend the same church together. We live in the same community together. Michelle Palmer has an Etsy shop. She also designs punch needle patterns, and they're beautiful as well. But I have this punch needle, and it has a DMC conversion in it. I know, Gail. So my friend Deb Abbott, who's in the chat, I think, she told me the same thing about going down that rabbit hole, and she still is going down that rabbit hole. It's actually quite, I'm going to say quite therapeutic. And I love snowmen too. I find, well, cross stitch is a little different, right? You're constantly having to look at a chart sometimes, unless you've outlined something to fill in. You're constantly having to look at the chart or whatever. I find that punch needle, once you have your needle loaded with the color you need, you just go at it. Sampler girl, yes, Debbie, I'm an enabler. It did not hurt my wrist, but I did some things. Like I went to, when I was at Hobby Lobby, I bought a, gosh, I knew I was going to space in the name. It's a locking ring. I'm spacing on the manufacturer name right now. I should have written it down because you guys know how my brain works. They have them at Hobby Lobby, and it's a locking ring, so it has the groove in the center. I'll show you if I can get it apart. So it has this groove in the center, so it actually locks together so the fabric doesn't slip, and that helped immensely. Morgan hoop. Morgan, thanks. Count on you guys to give me what I need, right? That helped immensely. And the punch needle, I didn't use a lot wrist-wise. I don't know. I perfected my thing. Maybe on one of the live Stitch With Me's, maybe I'll be working on the punch needle, and I can show you guys how I do it. I'm by no means any expert. It's just something new I learned, and I can add it into my cross-stitch rotation. Like, I won't start, I'm not going to start this until I have a finish. So now I already have 2 things lined up to start or get back to when I have finishes. So this is probably not going to go in the rotation for a little while. But if down the road we want to do a Stitch With Me that's punch needle, I'm happy to do that, and we can learn together. I'm all about that. All about that. We can do that. That's not a big deal. So I will try to warn you guys when that's coming so that you know. Although, you really don't have to be here live if you can't be here. This video will immediately be uploaded onto the YouTube channel, and you can go back to it anytime you wish. Oh, I have to look at Not Forgotten Farm. I have heard of them, but now I'm on Stitch From Stash, so I have to earn some money to buy things, which means I have to finish things first. But I will take a look. Thank you for that recommendation. Somebody had said something like that to me, and I forgot, so thanks for reminding me. I have one more thing to talk to you guys about. Teresa Kogut's new pattern, one that I love. I don't know if you guys have seen this. If you love it, you hate it, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Deb Abbott, my mom, and myself are going to start this. We're hoping to start next week. I think Deb's waiting for floss, if I'm not mistaken. But I have mine. Debbie made me a bag. Nice little pocket on the front. And let's see. I have... Oh, let's see if I can... She also made this little... Hold on. It's a mess. This little Patriotic Strawberry. It's got my needle in it. And then I have all the called for flosses here. So you know me, I don't generally do all the called for, but on this piece, I like it. Should we do the lower camera? Let's see. I think the lighting's better on the lower camera. So here we go. Here's the flosses. She made this strawberry to go with the bag. It has my needle in it. It's all ready to go. I made some floss bling. So I'm going to show this to you guys. See if I can get it So all the bling is out here. I don't normally have floss bling on any of my rings. This is the United States Air Force, as I'm an Air Force veteran. Then we have red, white, and blue, a star, and a little create thing. And that's my floss bling. I have decided to stitch this on 40 Count Beach Brew by R&R. And I have my flag needle minder. So in this particular case, I'm all hooked up. I'm just waiting for Deb to get her floss and my mom to get her floss, and then we will be starting this. There are several sales going on the internet with this pattern. This will be a long-term sale. Obviously, this is a big girl. She is, if you've not looked, she is 288 wide by 292 high. She is by far not the largest one I have going at the moment. However, she is beautiful. Gail, I've not done them out of plastic. I do them out of cardstock. And I get cardstock, different colors, different patterns. Sometimes I will glue cardstock to scrapbook paper that I really like with that spray adhesive. And I will cut thread drops out of that. These ones here, so this one here is scrapbook paper that I glued, directionally challenged, glued cardstock. These here are just plain cardstock. I've never used the plastic ones. I've always just used kind of scrap things that I have around. And that's what I use. Yeah, because I have some of my DMC, a good portion of it is on floss drops and all in numerical order. And then I had picked up a stash of DMC off Facebook Marketplace that was local, and there had to have been hundreds of DMC flosses that were all bobbinated. So they went into cases. So I am working off of all of that stash. That's why I'm kind of, you'll see some of these look like they've been on bobbins for a long time. They have. But what I do, and because I'm on 40 count on this one, I will pull these off one strand at a time just by using my needle and picking one strand off. You know what I mean? So, but I've never used the plastic ones, so I don't know. I think it would be cool to repurpose, you know, those plastic type file folders, if you want to repurpose them and get a punch. I have a punch that cuts them out. I wonder if the punch would go through that, and that would repurpose them. I know the cardstock one, sometimes I pull too hard on a thread and I end up ripping it off the floss drop. But I just punch another hole because I don't care how it looks, so I'll just punch a hole higher up and put the floss back on there because it's just me. But, you know, if I was selling them in my Etsy shop, I would definitely probably make them fancier. But for me, I don't really care what they look like. But I just like the colors here. I love the blues with the reds and the burgundies. And then you've got like the gray-green and the browns. I love the sampler. I can't wait to start. Yeah, I like thread drops. And I was always a bobbin girl. Really always a bobbin girl. But when I never considered going to thread drops until I saw somebody, I think it was X Stitch MD. I saw it there. I think I saw it somewhere else other than that. But she basically showed how she pulled one thread off at a time with her needle, and it was so easy. Like, you literally just pull the thread out. You don't have to take any thread off the thread drop. You don't have to unfold it. You don't have to anything. And so I'm all about that. But thread drops is good. And Sampler Girl, this will be my first time stitching on 40 count. The highest I've been so far is 36 count. And there are times that I have difficulty with that, even under my magnifier. If the color of the floss is close to the color of the fabric, you know, my eyes tend to play tricks on me. I'm better off in the daylight. But this, I have to tell you that sitting down here under this lighting, this is not normally where I stitch. I can see it. And this is the old script glasses that I have on, not my new script glasses. Yes, Shelly, I agree with you. I assume you're talking about the thread pull off, the thread drop, right? Because now, even with the fancy floss, so the weeks, because I'm on 40 count, I don't want to work with super long threads, right? So I took all the weeks and I just snipped them down at the end. You know how they're all loopy. And now I can just pull off one strand at a time. And it, like, blew my mind when I saw that. So much easier. Back to the glasses. Those of you that have been following me for a long time, you really know this already, so I'm just going to recap for maybe somebody who's new. I do have a lot of new followers lately. I have 2 pairs of glasses that you'll see me in, and sometimes I wear contacts. But this summer, as you can probably tell by my eyes and everything, has been horrid for me as far as allergies go. Horrible. I've been struggling with headaches, sinus issues, and it's normal. Every few years, my husband and I were just talking about this today, every few years you just have a bad year. Like, you can almost hear it in my voice sometimes from the drip going down the back of my throat all the time. My newest prescription glasses are heavy frames, which when my sinuses are bothering me, they bother me. Just that weight on my nose. Sometimes when you pull it, it tangles. Why, Gail? Sometimes it does for me too. Sometimes I'll pull the thread out and all the other threads kind of bunch up, and if you just pull those back down, it'll come right out and it should be fine. If you've clipped all the ends so that you have all straight ends down, you should be fine. But anyway, I have to go back and order my newest prescription in a frame like this that's lighter on my face. And I've been saying that for months, and I just have not done it. I should probably do it here after I hang up and before I go upstairs to stitch. When I stitch upstairs, I use a magnifier light so I can stitch with either pair of my glasses on. Down here, I probably need my newest script, but I have to tell you, I can see it. It would strain my eyes, but I can still see it. So I'm hopeful that under magnification, it won't be a problem. So now this is where I have the exciting news for you. I inadvertently bought an extra copy of Land That I Love. And I would like to do a giveaway. So the giveaway will be open until next Saturday. Let's give it 2 weeks. We'll do it at the next Flosstube Live in 2 weeks. So what you need to do is like this video, be a subscriber, and comment Land That I Love. And we will do a random comment generator and draw a winner of Land That I Love. And so if you're interested in stitching Land That I Love with us, I would like to send you this pattern. And I will send it anywhere. So if you happen to be watching outside the United States, I will send it to you too. Just understand shipping is going to take a long time. I think the only 2 orders that I still have out is I ordered a hank of silk from Silks For You about 6 weeks ago. That should be arriving any day. Nope, you can put it in the comments right now, Shelly. Just put Land That I Love because it'll show up even after this gets posted. Make sure to like the video and subscribe and be a subscriber to my channel, which I believe you are. I will check to see if you're a subscriber because I know So I don't subscribe to every channel I watch. I also don't generally enter the giveaways. Not often. I think I've entered a few. But not often. And, but I think you need to be a subscriber to the channel for this giveaway specifically, because this is a pretty, that's a pretty good giveaway. That was a good chart for me to mess up on, huh? And get an extra copy. But it's also a way to thank people for subscribing to my channel. I know that at times some people unsubscribe for whatever reason, and I think you are the sampler girl. Because I get a notification for new subscribers, and I figured I thought I saw your name this week. So thanks for subscribing. I do appreciate it. When you do this and you really don't interact with people per se, it's hard to know whether your content is valuable or people enjoy it. And I like this format because you get feedback. Not that I thrive on getting pats on the back. That's not it. I hope you guys know what I mean. But I would love to have one of you stitching along with us, and this will go a long way to making that happen. So we'll keep it open for 2 weeks, and I will, we'll do a random comment generator only on this video. So next week there will be a live stitch with me. Probably Friday or Saturday, so just keep your, I will schedule it through my video processing, so you'll see a tile much like you saw for tonight's, that I have a scheduled live at such and such a time. It's a stitch with me next week. So I'm going to bring my chatelaine to the stitch with me, and I'm going to be working on that. For those of you that don't know what my chatelaine is, look at my last few videos. It was a recent start. It is a honkin' piece. I think it finishes at 25 inches square. It calls for a ton of silks, a ton of just specialty stuff, specialty stitches, and I'm having a ball stitching it. So I'm going to bring that to the party next week. And right now, it's been, how many minutes? Holy cow. 47 minutes. Thanks, guys, for coming. I appreciate it. I really, really do. You have no idea. I have so much fun with my stitching and my sewing that it's hard to believe that I'm just feel lucky to be able to keep doing it. Thanks for following. Thanks for subscribing. Tell all your friends, if they're interested in land that I love, to come to my channel and subscribe and enter the giveaway. And in 2 weeks, we'll pick a name, and we'll be able to send this off to somebody to stitch along with us. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. Have a great weekend. I'm going to be taking care of my bees. Follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on Facebook. And happy stitching, guys. Enjoy. Bye.